Hi and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Alan Aitken, and on this show each week we take a look at some upcoming races in Hong Kong and try to isolate an aspect of the race that we might look back on later as having been a clue to finding the winner. Well, Saturday racing this week in Hong Kong, and the first race we're going to take a look at is race 7, where our winning factor is the tempo. Now, there's a handful of major chances who stand out here. Judy Star, I think, is going to benefit from stepping up in distance. Mighty Power looking to break through after two very good runs for David Hayes this season. Alpha St Paul's broke through for his maiden win last start, and also the horse that he beat in that win, So Awesome, looks a great chance. And it's interesting to see Zac Purton teaming up with David Hayes with Mighty Power. Both of them in unfamiliar territory of needing a win, as Hayes hasn't won since opening day, and Zac Purton currently undergoing the worst losing streak he has had in 4 years. Anyway, we're going to take a look at what a couple of the main contenders have been doing here. And first of all, we're going to the replay of race 77. This is the race where Alpha St Paul's beat So Awesome on October 4. And you can see on the heat map here that this race was only steady early, with the tempo picking up in the second half. So Alpha St Paul's in the blue colours, he was advantaged sitting up in second. So Awesome in the brown and cream stripes further back in the field. And Alpha St Paul's gets a head start in the sprint to the line, while So Awesome, well, you can see him, he gets slightly held up. I don't think he was that unlucky, but he does close the race off solidly in the latter stages to finish second. Now, the meeting prior to that, October 1, we're going to see Mighty Power also getting run down over the same 1400 metre distance, but in a very different style of race. Now, you see here in the yellow colours, he jumps well from a wider gate, works across early to camp on the lead. But there's a key moment in the race where another runner comes around Mighty Power, joins the leader, and they break away from the field, and they up the tempo, as you can see on the heat map, to quite a strong sectional from the 800 metres to the 400 metres. And during that period, Mighty Power has no option but to chase those breakaway leaders, and the horse that eventually runs him down is Angel of My Eyes in the orange sleeves, sitting 2 lengths behind him. So Zac Purton gets the drop on Mighty Power in the run home. And when we take a look at the map for this Saturday's race, I think we're going to see a slightly different style of event, more like the Alpha St Paul's race than Mighty Power's last race. This time, Mighty Power drawn lower. Alpha St Paul's, he may even be the leader this time because there doesn't look a great deal of pressure on the front end. And I think we've seen that Mighty Power can sit up handy to the speed, this time with less pressure on, and in front of So Awesome, and he will be giving away start to the other pair. So the tip in race 7, Mighty Power, his winning factor, the tempo. We saw him chasing quite a stiff lead tempo last time from the 800 metres, and he was only just run down late on the line. I think this time the tempo will be softer and he'll save his energy for the run down the stretch. The other race I want to take a look at is race 10, and our winning factor here is the map. And the reason I've chosen this race, well, it's really the race of the day. 3 quite exciting horses. I think it'll be a surprise if one of them doesn't win, and I'm not sure that there's a great deal between the 3 of them. Mighty Giant seeking his 5th win in succession. Lucky Express, he looks suited, stepping up to 1400 metres. And Casper Found's exciting 4-year-old Skyfield takes the leap into Class 2 for the first time, looking for his 4th win in a row. And while this is Class 2, so there is plenty of quality in the race, I think those 3 are going to dominate discussions, and let's take a look at just why that is. First of all, this is race 69, and this is Skyfield, so impressive in his first 2 wins this season. And he had to earn it a little bit more at the top of Class 3. You see him in green and yellow colours towards the rear of the field. And at different stages of this 1200 metre race, he did show some signs of his inexperience when the pace stopped and started a bit. and he threw his head up and acted a little bit greenly. But when it got down to tin tacks, he had too much talent. He gave 17 pounds to the runner-up and managed to reel him in and get the job done effectively on the line. Later that day, in race 74, we saw Mighty Giant make it to 4 straight, and he did it the tough way. He didn't get any picnic on the lead here, as he and Beauty Legacy took each other on, carving out some strong mid-race sections. And it was no surprise he was getting tired in the final stages, but he still managed to hold off a couple of very decent finishes in Not Usual Talent and Star Shine. It was a better effort than the margin suggests. And then 10 days later, well, we're going to look at the one of the three who didn't win when Lucky Express in race 102 finished 5th. And this is behind California Rad, but this time with the tempo really working against the finisher. Now you look at the heat map here, very slow sectionals the first 800, a hard sprint down the straight, and you see little change in position of the leaders over that final 400 metres in 22.1 seconds. That made it very tough to make ground on the front runners, but still Lucky Express was able to take 2 lengths back off them in the final 400 metres. And I think the finishing speed that we've seen from Lucky Express over 1200 metres a couple of times now suggests that he is ready to tackle 1400 metres for the first time in his life. And when we look at the map, well, this sets up as a really great tactical battle here between our 3 top jockeys. Mighty Giant for Zach Purton. He looks to get the front here to himself. He may not have to work quite as hard through mid-race as he did last start, but he also isn't a horse of great acceleration. His big weapon is his cruising speed, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Purton lead at a steady tempo, then up the ante quite a long way from home. Behind them, we'll see Karis Teeton on Lucky Express. Now, he might position him a little bit closer this time, stepping up in distance, not wanting to let the leader get too far away. And he will still have a good start on Skyfield. Joe Moreira has the toughest tactical job on him because he doesn't look ready to be bustled early in a race. He might over-race if you do that. And Joe is going to have to trust that the horse's superior acceleration is going to get him out of trouble when push comes to shove in the home straight. So a really interesting tactical battle between our 3 top jockeys and 3 very, very promising horses. But the tip for me in race 10, Lucky Express, and his winning factor, the map. Now we can assume, I think, that he's going to have a fair head start over Skyfield here. Zach Purton on the leader, Mighty Giant, is going to try and take the sting out of the ones finishing on. But I think he's in the middle ground, Lucky Express. He's going to be able to stay in touch. He's got that good finishing speed, and I think that might be the decider, but it's a really tough race between 3 very talented gallopers. Well, that's it from the winning factor for this week. Enjoy your racing Saturday. We'll see you next time.